Sup, Slayers? It's good to see you all. Hope you guys are having a good day, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you guys are around the globe. Welcome to another play-by-play by yours truly. This is gonna be a Hollow Knight no-hit run, any percent. The percentage we actually did it was 28%. I don't know if it was good to say it now or say it later. Just so you know. And then the route that we took is from Fireborn. Fireborn. He is the world's first to ever get hit run on this game, and he's a former speedrunner as well of the Hollow Knight. So there's gonna be a couple stuff I'm gonna be trying my best to explain here and there, but things will go pretty quickly, and so it's gonna be really hard for me to explain it all. Before we begin, as you see already in the left hand side, those are my social medias. If you guys are curious to see like what do I do like while I'm not uploading these videos, then be sure to follow me on Twitch. I stream every day at 9 a.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. every day. There's very rare days where I don't stream and I announce it. And if you want to be updated as well, then you can find me on Discord as well. Although I didn't put my Discord page there. Or my server. Anyways, but if you guys want to see more of this, I am a variety no-hit runner, so I focus a lot on this. Currently doing Dark Souls Remastered, and follow-up is going to be Nier Automata as well. So 2 fun runs to watch. So right here you see me picking up Fury of the Fallen. We are going to use Fury of the Fallen a lot. One thing that this game makes me think a lot is like the amount of debate that could potentially be between like people who do hit lists and then how they perceive how a hit run should be done. I always stand by the same rules, and that is that environmental damage doesn't count as a hit. The only thing that counts as a hit is staggers and taking damage from enemies. And then traps are also counted as a hit. Aside from that, environmental damage does not count as a hit. So we are going to use the fact that there's a lot of environmental damage to our advantage. Granted, I am actually happy that this run, I'm not spoiling too much, I'm actually happy that in this run I only took damage when I wanted to, not when I didn't want it to. Just to be able to prove, I mean, I don't want to say like that, but at least to be able to prove that I could have beaten the game without taking damage if I wanted to. But I still did. And the reason is because for a lot of the strats we're going to be using, I'm going to be implementing Fury of the Fallen, and here is the first time we actually equipped Fury of the Fallen. Just to have a little bit more damage, and that makes the route, the run a bit easier as we kill enemies faster. So the first thing we're gonna go is for I call it Hadouken. I forgot what was the name of it. I have it in the tip of my tongue. I just don't remember. It's basically the first spell that you get from the shaman. We're gonna work our way down there. I do not buy maps either, if you guys are wondering. What time you learn the whole your whole route, so there's no need for maps either. I usually take my time here because I like collecting Chio all the way to 90. But I think I didn't collect the 90 this time. I I'm also paying attention to like where these little guys are moving towards, because if you're not paying attention to what's below you and what's on top of you, you can get surprised by these guys. So always look up and down to pay attention. So here's the first part where we actually take fall damage. I mean, we take environmental damage, and this is to lower our health to 1 so we can activate Fury of the Fallen. This allows for a quick False Knight boss fight, and as well we kill all the enemies here in 2 hits. Again, collecting all the Geo. I'm gonna be trying to collect as much Geo as I can throughout the whole run without deviating from the route. Without like, you know, leaving the route. We actually don't stray away from the route at all, if I'm not mistaken. In my very few first runs where I was trying to like route it correctly, I opted to do a little bit more farming, and then since I noticed that it was like really slow, I started going for grubs, which you might think is slower, but it's less slower than farming. That's for sure. And in a sense it kind of helped me, because I will go for grubs, and at the same time, once we get to grub that, we get Geo and a charm, which I needed. But then with a little bit of like further study, we found out we can get the amount of Geo that I need without actually getting the grubs or farming at all. And it worked out pretty well. But I do pick up all these Geo rocks that you see to get as much Geo as I can. I try to get out of this room with 200 Geo. You don't really have to go for this far. You can actually, you know, I think using my route, you still have a little wiggle room around like 50 to 100 Geo, I think. Maybe like 50, not too much. You'll see why later. I usually end up with like 50 Geo left after doing all the things that we buy. But yeah, shoutouts, let's say it again, shoutouts to Fireborn. I use his route as a base, and then I actually started like routing a little bit on my own, because Fireborn tried to mix speedrun with being able to do a hitless, and he is very, very good at it. And so he cut off things that he didn't need it, and managed to get the run without getting a couple of the upgrades that we will be getting. So if anything, this is a more friendlier approach for those who are wanting to try this out. I will put the link of Fireborn's run in the description, so you can also see Fireborn's strats. He does not use Fury of the Fallen, by the way. So here, False Knight, you're gonna need 8 hits to drop him. 5 hits to make him come back up, and then I do 3 hits here, and then 3 hits when he lands. And that way he is left with 2 hits left or 1, depending. If you hit him with 2 projectiles, then you can knock him off. I actually missed 1 basic there, so I'm gonna need 2 more hits here. Now after the 3rd down, you can just walk into the right side and just wait. And that way the fight will end. There you go. Oh, I tried to go for the gate. They actually went for the gate. I always try to get the gate. Did I got the gate on this run? No, I didn't got the gate. Okay. So usually what I try to do here is get that city crest before, like as fast as I can, to see if I can touch the gate. And if you do it right, you'll be able to touch the gate. Not with the nail, with the own character. It's pretty close, but it's not entirely difficult. It's fun to do. Usually I try to find things that I want to do while doing the run, so it makes the run a little bit more easy to bear with, because repeating runs over and over can kind of get a little bit tiring, you know. So here this is important. I actually increased my health. I increased my health to be able to like not two-shot the enemies. Let me see the name. Vengeful Spirit. There you go. It was in the tip of my tongue, a little bit back, you know, not really in the tip. But anyways, I full heal here because I do not want to use Fury of the Fallen, because the enemies here will die in 2 hits, and I do not want that. If you guys, for those who do not know a little bit about the game, you gain 3 hits on an enemy is equal to 1 shot from Vengeful Spirit. So you need 3 hits to be able to do that. If I had Fury of the Fallen, I will kill these guys in 2, and that makes the boss fight, the mini boss fight, last longer. Which is not even a mini boss, it's like a mini boss, I think. Nice. So here I get full spells. For this part you're gonna need 3 spells and then wait to get another one. There you go. So I stay close to this guy. As you can see, if you stay close to him, he will not pop up. So what I like to do is... What I like to do... There we go. So what I like to do is when he throws in one of his childs, I will get close to him to make him like hide or take cover, so he won't be able to like throw projectiles and be annoying. And you can see I actually killed him in 3 hits, which allowed me to have one last Vengeful Spirit to kill the mini boss. One thing I want to say that since we're not going to be taking hits from enemies, and ideally I shouldn't take fall damage, I mean damage from the environment when I'm at 1 health, we are overcharming. We're going to be overcharming a lot in this game, which is really nice. The fact that I could overcharm. This is one of the things that I don't get to do on my blind playthroughs that I get to do here. Is like really use the overcharming. And this overcharm is not completely necessary. It's really, it just helps me from time to time when I mess up a little bit. I need a little bit more extra for the spell. It's always useful. And on top of that, the other use about overcharming is that it makes it's faster to like lower your health to 1, because we're not gonna be getting more masks. That means 2 falls into this pond here, acid pond or whatever it is, pool of acid, will put me at 1 hit. So it makes it faster. Instead of taking 4 hits, I just took 2 in the acid pond. You're gonna see me play a little bit cautious in a couple places because, like I said, I'm trying to do my best to not get hit. I err on the side of being safe more than being fast. Because, you know, I'm trying not to get hit, so... These bad boys, I'm glad that they die in 1 hit, I mean 2 hits. That way you don't have to wait for them to pop again. I think if you kill them in 3 hits is fine. The problem is that without Fury of the Fallen, I think they only die... They die basically in 4 hits. So with Fury, which increases your damage by 75%, which is a lot, to be honest. It makes it doable. Honestly, I cannot lie, it makes the run easier. Enemies die quicker, right? Next up, we're gonna be going for Mothwind Cloak. And I'm about to do a skip here. That's like an old skip, it's not the newest skip. I think it's here. The new skip here is to use Vengeful Spirit twice, and you get to the other side, but I have a really hard time getting it, so I use this little guy to boost me up there. So I wait for him to like do 2 dashes, and then when he goes a little bit higher, I do a pogo. These guys, as they back off, they will try to get some height sometimes, and if you're close to them, just do like a upward nail attack, and you'll be fine. They'll just get out of the way if you nail it. No pun intended. That was not meant to happen. So here is a little bit of improvisation. These are moments that I like to. I feel like it's hard to excel at them because you get to, as a runner, you try to have everything like really accounted for. You have the strats like well. So your body gets. You depend on a lot of like muscle memory, and so these moments where like you mess up is the moments where you gotta improvise. Granted, that wasn't that big of an issue, right? But I could have like not thought about it and just kept walking and potentially gotten hit. Maybe not. Here I back off and I enter the stage again because all the enemies reset to where they start, and so it's important for me so I know where they're gonna be at. Almost mess up there. So then again here, usually I'm not used to having this guy with me up here. I usually get up here faster, so I don't have to deal with him. This little guy dies quickly. What you're gonna do here, the enemy falling up. This is the first time you see him, by the way. What you're gonna do here is one basic, and then just all 3 of Vengeful Spirit will kill him. You can also kill him with 6 hits into 1 Vengeful Spirits, and I think like 2 hits into 2 Vengeful Spirits, or maybe 3 too. I don't know. There you go, 3 Vengefuls into a basic will kill him. Pretty self-explanatory. One thing I would say. Oh, by the way, 5 hits here, a 6 hit now, and then wait for the 7th. You kill him in 7 hits with Fury of the Fallen. So I try to go for 4 hits in the beginning, 5 hits before he cries, and then the 6th hit before he leaves, goes away from you. And then when he goes for the dive, you hit him a 7th time, it will kill him. It's been very consistent for me. I haven't had that many issues. Just so you know. Here, if you make a drop on this guy, he can't. This enemy cannot defend. His top left corner. They can only defend top or forward, like vertically or horizontal. What I go here is I do 1 Vengeful Spirit into 3 hits. Actually no, it's into 4 hits. My bad. I think it's 4 hits. Yeah. The reason I do this is because I want to save the Vengeful Spirit for Hornet, so we can make the fight quicker. And I guess we can talk about a little bit about Hornet now, before we get there. Hornet is not that of a difficult boss, per se. She can get you here and there sometimes, and it could be depending on like what you're doing. So, out of all the attacks, the most important attack to like pay attention is when she jumps and she goes like a diagonal dive. She doesn't track you. What she does is that she will land where you are standing. Usually there's a moment where like her decision of where to land will stop, and then she will like commit to that same spot. So what I like to do is either stand still and not move too much, and when she's about to dash into me, I move forward or I jump. And that way she completely misses. Do not make too many movements, because it's gonna make it really unpredictable for you to know where she's gonna land. For example, here, you see? I like to use Vengeful Spirit to create space from her, so that way she's not in my face. Sometimes she will do empty jumps, and sometimes she will do empty jumps into this attack. Just keep walking to a certain direction. Do not hesitate on whether to go left or right. Just commit to one direction, and then when she gets close to you, then you decide what you want to do. If she's gonna go for a dive, she will stop mid-air, and you will have time to react. Usually when you see me like quote-unquote dash dancing, we can call it, because that's a term in Melee. When you see me like dash dancing, I'm usually trying to dash dance towards against the direction where she's not against the direction. I'm trying to dash dance towards the spot where she is not, which is in this case she was mostly on the left side, so I was trying to dash dance towards right, and that way I made so that if she were to land on me, I could just run back, and she would just land into like the general area where I was dash dancing. I will clear that area where I was dash dancing, and that way I would know that she would, it's easier for me to like know. Another thing is that the reason I keep myself in movement without moving too far from like a certain spot is because I wanna. It's more of like a mental thing. I want to like. I don't want to stay still, because not to get my mind like in a numb state where I have to react. If I'm constantly moving, it's easier for me to like move move to where I want to go, and it's easier for me to react as well. But if you notice, my dash dancing is not that big. It's a really short dash dancing, so that way I know in what spot she will land, out of what potential spot she can land, and I can just move out of that spot. So if you have room, move away from her. If you don't have room, start running towards her, and you'll get away. Here, do exactly as I do, and you should be fine. We're gonna get our next upgrade for the nail in terms of like damage, and it's gonna be basically our second charm, which is Fragile Strength. Now the beauty of actually doing no hit runs is that I don't have to worry about Fragile Strength breaking at all, because the point of this is not to get hit. So this baby stays with me till the end. If by some reason this video gets a lot of likes and a lot of requests, I can potentially make a tutorial on how to be Hornet, or probably all the bosses that I do in this run, so people can try it out, because I know some of these bosses in this game are a grind, to be honest. It was for me. I had to get pretty good at defeating them. Not the early bosses, but the late bosses. Here's this second time we actually, or our third time I think, we get lower our health to 1, and this is to be able to kill these guys really quickly. So they die, what was it again? I think it was like 5 hits, 1 spell. So I do 5 hits, 1 spell on one, and 5 hits, 1 spell on the other one. Here I made a mistake, but I got lucky. I got really lucky here. So what you want to do with these guys, don't do exactly what I did, commit to one. The idea is to commit to until he starts like head banging himself to the floor, and then you walk towards the other one. That's the idea. They should do that almost every single time. The one in front of you, if he's gonna select an attack, he should do that almost every single time. And then when he starts doing that, you rush into the other side, and then do the 2 to 3 hits on the other guy. And the idea is to have one of them using projectiles and the other one headbanging the floor, so you don't have to deal with both of them doing projectiles. So the reason we go to the left side here is so we can get an item that we will convert into Geo later by selling it, which is a Hollowness Seal. To be honest, I don't pay attention to all of the items in this game. For some reason, I tend to forget them, even though I've read it a couple times. But I don't pay that much attention to like remember them. I think I made a mistake here, and I actually entered something that I shouldn't have. Right? I did, yeah. So, quit the menu. There we go. That's another thing that I want to talk about. Quit outs. So I do accept quit outs in this game. Usually in the no hit run community, that the guys who do Souls games primarily, in the Souls community, it was decided that quit outs wouldn't be allowed. Now it doesn't mean that you cannot do them. It's just that they err on the side of not doing quit outs. What I've decided for my runs is that I would not do quit outs if I am in combat. With an enemy. When I'm in combat with an enemy, I would not do quit outs, because then I'll be just abusing of a mechanic, an unintended mechanic. So if I'm ever in a fight, I won't do quit outs. But since I picked that up, I can. The other reason I started doing this before I actually made the decision was because it was also in Fireborn's strat in his route, and I was very, very I want to say fascinated. I really like the idea of quitting out so you can like teleport to previous places. I feel like this was more of a genius thing than like a cheesy way to just traverse through the map without avoiding damage. And so I really like the idea. Never took it. I've never decided to do it on Dark Souls. I would say mainly out of respect. Not only that, in Dark Souls you really don't get teleported. You just spawn in the same place where you were. So there's not too many uses for like quit outs, other than like purely just resetting enemies and avoiding fights and such. So yes, I do allow quit outs as long as we're not in combat, and no, traps do not. I don't consider traps as enemies. That's weird, because you can argue that I am also counting traps as enemies, right? That said, I don't quit out them on any of the most traps. The only trap that you kind of saw me quit out was actually when I was getting the Hollowness Seal, and I think I waited for the explosion to happen before I quit. Usually do that. I don't know if I did it this time. Mainly did it because I think it was a cool strat to do. I saw Fireborn do it, and I was like, you know what, heck it, let's do it. It's not a big issue. I don't have any problems with waiting for the thing to explode, but the faster I can make this run go, the better for me, to be honest. Next charm is gonna be Dash Master. Some of these charms we don't have to use them at all, what I'm trying to do is get 10 charms so we can get 2 more charm notches, because we're gonna be doing a quad charm. So and we're gonna be over charming because we don't have enough charm notches to go for a quad charm without over charming, which is completely fine because, like I say, we don't really need the health at all. So that guy actually dashed. I dashed before landing or getting close to him, so I could just, falling down, I could hit him. Oh, this is important. Exactly where I'm standing, I go for a Vengeful Spirit and then 1 basic to kill him. And then you see the shadow here on right here where I'm standing, exactly where I'm standing. Stand there, and that little shadow. It's not a shadow really. It's like there's an object like further in towards you. I stand there. That's like my other place to stand. And then you're gonna see me stand here into like I think this is a stick right here. You see a stick in the background. I go for 2 there, 2 Vengeful Spirit, and that should kill him. That's basically how I do it, right? And these guys, do not challenge them underneath. Do them like try to jump and be in front of him. This is the only one I actually challenged underneath, and I did it wrong here. But it's because I have a lot of room to play with vertical wise. So I could afford to do this here, and we didn't have that much room. Horizontally, so I had to play with what I had vertically. And since we had a lot of room, I could play with this. Now we got the wall jump. Probably one of the best things you can get in this game, to be honest. Get some Geo. We're still farming Geo. We're getting Geos as much as I can. Try not to deviate as much. You're gonna see me getting some hollowness seals here and there, and then some, what was it again? The journals. I forgot the journal something, which gives us like 200 Geos. You're gonna see me get some of those. Especially one really close by, we're gonna get. And the goal is to get around, I think it's like 2140 minimum. I think it's the first amount that we must have. Double wall jump there into 1 up here. I'm gonna be using like melee terms, just so you guys know, or smash terms. This guy, you can either use a Vengeful Spirit or just basic attack him. Now here's the thing, I tend to have issues with section overcoming, and so sometimes I take damage there, environmental damage, and so to prevent that from happening, I level up my health. I regen my health by 2, so just in case I take damage, I can have an extra try of doing it. Luckily for me, we didn't got hit. And it's like very few times that this happens. Very few times, but usually with me, after I take hit of something, I already look for a way to like avoid it. So here you're gonna drop down. I think I do this wrong. Yeah, you do not go up here. You actually drop and then dash here. Perfect. And then walk forward. Do not do anything else. Walk forward and then dash. You do not have to move forward at all. Like once you walk forward and you start falling, do not move. Just input a dash and you'll be fine. Okay, so this part. Once you get to the ledge, wait here before this little guy who jumps stays in the middle. Then move forward, jump, and then dash. Wait a little bit, dash. And then this guy here, do not move forward, stay still. So what you want to do with these guys is, when he gets close to you, you want to jump in place. If he dashes back, then you land exactly where you're at. If he goes for an attack, you dash forward. That's the idea. Jump in place. If he dashes back, you land and you reset. If he goes for an attack, you dash forward. Watch. And there you go. That's how you're supposed to do it. And that way you eliminate dealing with these guys. Making sure the elevator goes back up is important. We're gonna need it later. You don't want to be stuck up there with one of those guys. Trust me. We do the same here. Actually, no. Here we bait him to get close to us, and we stand on the platform. Do not dash in when you see him going for the back dash at all. On that platform, you wait for the attack. Sometimes I've been waiting. There's been moments where I've waited for like after 5 back dashes, which is pretty insane. And then I dash in after he attacks. Only when he attacks. Here I messed up a little bit, so I have to wait for this guy to go back to the other corner, because I usually want to like land here, jump, and then dash. These guys die in 2 hits without Fury of the Fallen. I do not use Fury of the Fallen here, though there's a way to do it, to be honest. But no need. We're gonna quit out really soon. So we're gonna actually get the only upgrade that we get. The only upgrade that we get actually from this place. Sadly.
Garadel Akari.
And then we quit out. And so what's happening with the quit outs is that the game saves when you quit out, and then it teleports you back to the last bench you rested at. So it makes traversing basically is kind of cheesy if you ask me, because I don't have to go through all the enemies that I killed. I mean, go through all the enemies if I dodged a couple of them. Though that quit is not that dangerous, because I did kill all the enemies, right? And we need to go like here. This is another important one. See me like waiting for him, drop down, and then when he gets close, hit the elevator. Usually he dies because he just flies into it. But you want to make sure by just hitting the elevator and making the elevator go up, just in case he happens to like skip it, because they can sometimes. These guys do not challenge them. Only fight them vertically. The same with like the ones we talked about in the Mantis Village. The same. They have no way to like attack you when you're underneath them, so it's important that you utilize that to your advantage. This guy here, I wait for him to be in the right corner, and then I walk under him. His jump will always be like that in that arc. You can walk under him, you can dash, whatever you want. Just make sure that he goes for the jump. And then that guy, important. So I never get past that guy unless he does that specific dash. Because if you try to jump over him, when he's not doing that specific dash, he can meet you in the air. And that can be scary. So only when he does that attack would you pass over him. If he does not do the attack and just runs at you, like there, you see that jump attack, he can meet you in the air if you try to jump over him. So it's not a good idea to jump over him if he hasn't done the dash. What I like to do is that if he doesn't go for the dash, I will exit the room and then come back in. And what that does is that he will just reset back to position, and then you can bait him to do the dash again. And if he doesn't get it, if he doesn't do it, then do it again and again until he does. That guy there, I dash in a specific part so I can get a wall jump quickly, hit him, and then hit him again before he goes for the throw, because he can throw stuff. Same here. You will see me dash quickly into an attack, and then wall jump to another attack. And the reason is because sometimes if you're far away from them, they like to get space from you before approaching you. The guys with the spear, or you can call it a spear, they will throw the spear at you, and you have a little window to do it. So it's important you do that as quickly as possible. We do the same thing here, but this one is not like really that detrimental to dash, because he goes up first. Same here, we take damage to lower for Fury of the Fallen. And one thing you notice here is that I took only 1 damage, and that's because if you're still invincible to damage and you fall, you'll take only 1. So I recently learned that if you stay on the corner, you bait him to like teleport down. He dies in 1 hit, in 2 hits with Fury of the Fallen. So if you stay on either of the corners, he has no choice to either teleport on top of you if he wants to hit you, or like literally in front of you. So what we want is for him to teleport in front of us. And what you want to do is when he goes for the attack, you will jump over the attack and then hit him. And then take some space and he'll do it again. And you'll hit him 1 more time. And then apologies for that. This is on stream, as you can see. And then you do that 2 times and he'll die. Usually he will not go for a double spell, so just be patient, get back into the corner, and you'll be fine. I suggest always to prioritizing positioning over everything else. I say this on every of my tutorials or runs. Positioning is key. Do not get greedy and never go for damage over positioning and safety, right? Greediness is what kills you. Also, you can check this back. I didn't explain it well, but you see that little line on the right side that's holding these platforms? I wait for that guy specifically to land on that, to be on that line, and he has to be low. When he does that, jump on the platform, just walk right, and he will kill himself. You can watch it again and see how I did it. I just waited for him to like get low, and then be in that specific spot, and then I would jump on the platform and walk right. Since they want to get space from you before engaging, he will just walk back, and fly back, and he will die to spikes. Next up is we're gonna get another what do we call that again? Hunters? Whatever. No, what was it again? Oh, in this part, if you see this, you can try it and just kill them, but I like to reset the enemies again, because what I want to do is I want to walk, and as I'm falling, hit 1 and then spell the other 2. So watch, walk down, spell right, spell left, and then we get the Wanderer's Journal. All these that we're getting are really important. If not, you're gonna have to grind some geo. This guy here, you don't really have to do this, but this is like the safest way to do it. And make sure he's on top of this platform, and they will try to approach you, and since they're always gonna be on the top side, they can't attack you. So that's super important, by the way. Don't always be in that mindset of like, oh, he's only 1 hit left, let me just try to hit him before he hits me or something. Just think, okay, he's getting in a tough spot that it's gonna be hard for me, and I'm gonna have to challenge it. Can I go lower? And then proceed to go lower, right? Position should always be the question, your first question before engaging on a fight. So if you hit him once and then he happens to go lower, try to find an advantageous spot where you can like attack him and not end up trading, or potentially trading. Okay, we're in the last bits of items that we need to collect to convert them into geo, which is going to be the other Hell on a Seal that we're going to get in Dirtmouth. Now that you have the wall jump, you can now wall jump up here and you will see a little hole. And there is your Hell on a Seal. Now we quit out. This is the beauty of quit outs, by the way, dudes. I love quit outs. I'm not gonna lie, I love quit outs. The way I see runs, no damage runs and no hit runs. I'm mainly a no hit runner, nothing else. But the way I see runs and speed runs and this kind of thing, it's like, how do you as a player try to use all your tools that you have in your arsenal to get the better, come on top against games, right? And I would use I try to use almost all the tools that I can. Also, you watch that again. I made a mistake here. Also, before going up here, before going up and getting all that we got, you should hit that switch before going up. So you don't have to deal with this that I dealt there. So go back and watch that. What I did there, I dropped 3 platforms on the left side and then dashed to the right and then dropped 3 platforms. The idea is to refresh my dash so I can have a dash when I drop, because I do not want to be in a landing lag or a landing animation, because you can potentially get hit when you're down there. Not a good idea. So watch it again. I fall onto 3 platforms and then I dash to my right and then follow 3 more platforms. And then I dash again. I think I didn't dash. Actually, I messed up, I think. Potentially messed up. Here we're gonna do the same thing. Bait this guy to just follow me into the elevator. Wait here. Jump in place. If he goes for an attack, you dash. If he dashes back, you just wait. This guy right corner. Wait for him to jump and then you can just dash. And this guy, never challenge him at all. Never challenge him at all. If you do like I do, all this works. You might, here's the thing, so it's really player dependent, because it's basically based on your positioning, what actions you take. But I can guarantee you, if you take the same actions as I take, and you already understand the AI, you'll nail this by what I just did before getting here. Which is understanding what the enemies will do based on what you're doing. Or the potential things that they could do based on where you're standing relative to them. Here we're selling all of our hollowness seals. And I forgot the other thing. Journal something. The idea is to get around... Actually, no, this is the first time we buy stuff, right? We go shopping twice, guys, by the way. I love going shopping some games. Do not like the whole part of, like, you know, having to pick everything is kind of like a chore, but it pays off when you buy stuff and you get new toys to play around with. Right, so we're gonna be buying the lantern, which is what we're going for next. And you're gonna need around 2,200 and something, or maybe a little bit less. The lantern costs 1,800, and then you're gonna need to buy the shaman charm and 1 charm notch, which is a total of 340 if I'm not mistaken. So you're sitting around 1,140, I think it is. But the extra geo that you get will be needed for the next time you go by, so it's important that you get the only geo you can afford to like lose is 50. Oh, this is important. So I take damage here. Before I take damage, I went to Forgotten Crossroads and I sat on the bench. Because when I do the next quit out, I want to be able to appear in that bench. And then this is a little bit of a extra work that you don't, if you don't want to do it, it's fine. This makes it easy. This makes it a completely cheesable boss. The next boss fight makes it completely cheesable, or a complete cheese, because he doesn't fight at all. There's a reason I actually activate this. We go back to Forgotten Crossroads again so we can go get Sly and buy the charm notch and the charm from Salubra. You'll see me stop from time to time because I'm actually talking to my viewers. And you may see things pop up on screen. I'm not entirely sure if I do that. I think I do. Maybe not yet. Drop down here. You guys already know how to get Sly. No enemies here that you will be fighting, except for this little guy. You don't fight him. You just wait for him to get to the right corner. Drop and then dash. Walk under him and then dash out. Do not attempt to drop if he is close to the left side, because he will jump on you. Wait for him to get to the far corner, like 75% to the right. So here, you'll see why it's super cheese. If you got Fear of the Fallen and you got the charm, Strength Charm, super cheese. Oh, I think I was actually like dueling gangsta. Also guys, if you guys are enjoying this video, please leave a like. There you go, 4 hits. 4 hits is all that it took. Not even a chance to do anything. Since we hit him like 3 times minimum, we get a vengeful spirit, so we can use it here. Now I did it sort of wrong, but it's because he was in the middle and I just didn't know what to do, so I was standing ground. If you have pretty good ear, you can hear the music. The piano is doing like a little short melody. At the last note of the arpeggio, the enemies will come out of that enemy's belly, and you can time that and the end note of the arpeggio with the shot, and it will hit them. It will not kill them all, but you'll kill a bunch. Salubra, we already saw. We bought 1 charm and then 1 charm notch. This little guys, you don't have to kill him. It's just that I was kind of like distracted and I want to make sure that I didn't get hit by this guy. I was talking to chat, so I want to make sure that I didn't make a mistake. But usually if you jump over him, you'll find another enemy close to him right here, but he's not. He's far in the left side because we waited. And then you get Sly. But yeah guys, I'll say it again, my bad, I was interrupted by the boss. If you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a like, and also come you know, if you want to discuss about, I do no hit runs pretty often, and you want to discuss about stuff, or you just stuff you want to see, then you can stop by my Twitch channel. I stream every day from 9 AM to 6 PM. Community is pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I'm always up to helping people. So if there's anything you've watched content-wise on my YouTube that you would like to perform in the past, I mean, in the future, then I'd be happy to like help out. If you're into runs and you want to try out some of these runs, you have any questions about them, I can help you. Or any bosses that you would like to slay, then I'm up for it. Now that we talk to Sly, Sly will appear in Dirtmouth. And we're going straight into him to buy the lantern. We're gonna buy the lantern and that's about it, I think. Yeah, we don't buy anything else yet. And then this extra 384 that we have is gonna be for the next time we actually go shopping. As you can see already in the split, we're gonna be going for Super Dash. Now, Super Dash is like one of the hardest routes I have in this run. I kid you not. I have a little bit of a hard time trying to find a consistent way to dealing with Super Dash. Do as I do. You should be fine. I'll explain a little bit. The enemies, the way I see it, once you enter a room, they're in a global timer. I guess that you can call it a global timer. I don't really know. A room timer. I guess room timer instead of a global timer. Actually, it's a global timer. So we cannot take too much time on one specific spot because it will not work out later for us. Because then they're gonna be positioned differently. This guy dies in 3 hits without Fury of the Fallen, but you do need to have fragile strength. So coming up, there's these 2 miners that I found a really good way of killing them, and that is you're gonna double wall jump here, or single wall jump, and then go for a Vengeful Spirit. Didn't work out, so this is my second plan here, and is stay close to this part, and they have no way of hitting you. Right, your max height in that jump plus the up air will connect with them if they're in that corner, if they're in that ledge. That's the safest way to do it. The reason I do go for Vengeful Spirit is because my bad for yelling. If I'm yelling too much, it's just that the music is higher, so I gotta talk higher, louder. Do exactly as I did here. Important. Exactly as I did. 2 spells on this guy, or 3. Do not challenge him at all. Double jump here. Wait for this laser that's coming up from this guy, and then raise the next dude. You're gonna stay here before the laser comes up. This little guy's laser. Wait here for this other guy's laser, and then you go up, and then boom. We're gonna go out of our way a little bit to get another important item, which is the King's Idol, I think it's called. King's Idol gives you 800 Geo, which is very good. But even more than good, it's very convenient because we're gonna need a key that costs us exactly 800 Geo. So that means no extra farming at all. Here I messed up a little. I don't know what happened to my spells. I need a little bit more to actually like kill this guy in 2 hits. Usually you get 2. And then there's something pretty neat I found here. Oh, this part. Do exactly as I do. Do not jump here. Wait for the one on the left, far left, to go under that platform, and then you go up. There's 2 enemies there. There's 2 guys with those lasers that can hit you exactly when you're entering this room here. And they already did it. You can go back and slow it if you want to. Now this guy I kill by using my one Vengeful Spirit, and that eliminates me having to like do nasty things. Trying to get away from that, like that damage, the potential damage. That's a good platform to wait on, so I kill him and then I just wait for the perfect opportunity to just go up. But yeah, that room is pretty scary. The enemies on the bottom, the first ones you see with the lasers, one of them can actually hit when they're transitioning from the right side of that small platform into the top side. The laser will hit you diagonally if you're in that certain section, and that's crazy. You can see it. You can go back and see it. For a split second, it actually hits that spot, and it's pretty crazy. I've gotten hit there. I've lost runs to that, sadly. But I found a consistent way to do it, so it's nice. Next up is gonna be this section. I take my time here. What I do here is I want to wait for these both lasers to land at the same time, right? Like this, and then I do one dash, right? Same here. You want to wait for both of them to like appear at the same time because they have different durations, and so the best way to do this is by having them both appear at the same time, like now, and then you drop. Same here. Be patient. This part, unless you're doing a speedrun, then don't be patient. Here's the hardest part for me. It's gonna be coming up pretty soon. It's actually the last two lasers is the hardest part. So coming up, I'm gonna be pogoing on these platforms because I was a little bit late. So I do not want to rush it. Don't be greedy about that. Don't be afraid of having to pogo. If you get hit by the pogo, you're gonna have to learn how to time it well, because being greedy makes it really inconsistent, or at least like being afraid of not getting hit will make it inconsistent. Try to be good at pogoing. I would say just take your time. Make a save file where you are exactly like close to this place, and then get on that platform and start pogoing that platform until you get comfortable with that platform, and then it'll be a lot easier to go through that section. I've lost runs there because of that. Next up, Dreamnail. There's actually a pretty good skip that you can do to get to Dreamnail really quickly. I do not know if this is developer intended. Speedrunners use it a lot, and I'm gonna use it too, cause why not? I do not do out of bounds or glitches in this game, but skips I do. So here, Spark Dash or Super Dash, I think it's called, through here. Now Super Dash is a bit interesting. I've been trying to like learn how to do a Super Dash after landing on a wall, because you can't input a Super Dash as soon as you get to the wall, because what the character does is that when you get close to the wall, he will still be facing the wall, and then after a split second he will start touching the wall. And you want to time your Super Dash input with the sound of you touching the wall, or at least you gotta imagine when he exactly is going to be touching the wall, so you can get a perfect Super Dash, or like at least the earliest frames possible of getting a Super Dash out of a wall. And that's gonna be important for a skip that we're gonna be doing on the CL2 split. So yeah. Dreamnail being the easiest splits of them all. If you fall from here, it doesn't count as a hit. You don't take any health at all, and fall damage is not considered a hit either. But if you die out of fall damage, if you die from an environmental, it is considered a hit. So basically, your death is your enemy as well, right? Dying is considered a hit, but losing damage to environmental or fall damage is not. So here you're just gonna see me like fall. The game just puts you back on top of the platform, so it's not a big deal. Next up is going to be Shade Soul. Now, I opted to go for Shade Soul because I need a little bit more damage to have a more consistent fight versus Night Watchers, because they are a pain in the ass. I enjoy that boss fight a lot, but the problem is that there's so many scenarios that you can be in, and just having to learn all those scenarios and make the good decision every single time is really hard to have a really consistent fight. So getting more damage is way better. As you notice here, I actually took off Fury of the Fallen because we're not going to be using it for a little bit. We're going to be using the Shaman charm together with the strength. Collect the other charm. Remember, we gotta get 10 charms so we can get the last 2 notches from the Salubra that we're gonna need. And now we're gonna proceed to getting a few more items so we can do our second shopping, which is our last shopping of the game. And we're gonna be on our way to Shade Soul. This guy here, I learned that if you make him hit you or go for an attack, you can get 3 hits under him. So smack him once and then basically up tilt him. I almost got hit there. Really close. And then this guy, you know, make sure you're always fighting him vertically. If he actually ends up being in front of you, dip out. Dip out, or if you got really good reactions, wait for him to attack and jump and place, and he will be under you, and then go for a pogo. You may need to move a little bit forward to land on him, but that's dependent on how far he is from you. So for better results, stay still. Do not do anything. For better results, just stay still. Jump in place when he goes for the attack, and then from there, see how much you have to move forward, and I think it should be consistent every single time. These guys, I wait for them to see what they're gonna do. I do not attack them first because I've gotten hit by that. And then here, I wait for this guy to go top right. I want him to be in the top right corner. It doesn't have to be super specific on the top right corner, but at least he has to be forward of what he is right now, and has to be at least mid to mid high. That way I get to dash under him, and I'll be able to challenge him under and not in front of him. Like I said, you don't want to challenge this guy in front for consistency's sake. So around here is sort of fine. I want him to go up. I'm waiting for him to go up a little bit, and then I dash in. So right around here and there. Luckily for me, that part of the corner there, he can go further into the further backwards, which is nice, and it's fine. So here, these two guys, I kind of want to kill them with 2 spells. So I wait for the other one to come, and if you aggro them, they will stay still here, which is convenient. And so I aggro one of them, and then I wait for the other one to come, and then I hit them both. This guy, jump in place, you know, the same old. But what we're gonna do here, instead of fighting him, we're gonna use the elevator to our advantage. While you're inside this elevator, he cannot hit you, or he cannot go for an attack, because he cannot see you for some reason. Right? Get this item over here, which is the Wanderer's Journal. I'll try to memorize that. Wanderer's Journal. I think this is the last one we get. After this, we just get one Hollowness Seal. That's about it. So here what I'm doing, I'm trying to get to my soul equal to 2 spells. So I think 1 hit is enough. I go for another one just in case, because we're gonna need to kill this guy with 2 spells. I don't want to challenge him here at all. I just want to hit him, make sure. And then here, depending on how these enemies are positioned, depending on your win condition, you're gonna go down. Ideally, you want at least 1 spell to be able to kill these 2 guys instead of like fighting them. And we're gonna be working our way to getting the golden, I think it's the golden lady, which gives us 420. $420 Geo. Pogo here to get the last item that we need, which is the Hollowness Seal. That's all we need for items. And now we're gonna go get the last bit of Geo that we need before we go shopping. I mean, actually, we gotta sell the items first. So we're gonna sell the items. Also, do as I do here. Super dash into here. Don't want to fight that big guy at all. And then I play it safe. 1 hit and I back off. I let them do whatever they want, then I go in. Right? Because look, this could happen. They can decide whether they want to go left or right. The other dude can like make a 4-step and then smack you really hard. And so what you notice that I did here is that since you can't see where she is exactly positioned, and the audio doesn't accurately tell you either, what I do is I use 1 spell to so I can see where she's at, and then I will go for, I will enter the room. That's super important. Make sure I have 420 here, and then I just quit out, and this quit out will take me back to the bench. And we basically got all the geo that we needed. Now we just need to sell some items and then go for shopping. We do a lot of waiting here. We do a lot of waiting here. I don't know why. Remember, guys, I'm actually talking to chat sometimes, so this could happen. Basically, so far all the way till here, we've done the easy part of the run. Now the hard part of the run comes in. We're gonna be fighting the guy who's guarding Shade Soul, into Umu, and then into another route, which is towards the second seal that we're gonna get, which is the seal of the beast, I think is. I forgot the name. Hera seal, I think is her name. And then Night Watchers into Hollow Knight. So, you know, before this was just, you know, looking for stuff, buying here, buying there, preparing for just the real showdown. And yes, Team Cherry is Pog. God damn it. They did a wonderful job with this game. So things to remember, Pogo is bad. Pogo is not bad mechanically. I'm just saying, like, pogoing enemies is harder. So try to fight him you know, horizontally, except the flying dudes. You're better off being on top than bottom, except for maybe like 1 or 2 enemies that you have to do it. No choice. So you're gonna have to learn spacing, or you're gonna have to pogo them. Collect 10 charms. You must have 10 charms to at least be able to overcharm like I'm doing. It makes for more consistent fights, and there's some strats that I'm gonna be implementing that are gonna help a lot. Deal with things that you probably didn't account for, or just kind of hard to notice. One other thing is, I think a steady body. I think is the charm that we're gonna get, which doesn't let you move an inch when you're basic attacking. That's really good because you don't have to pay attention to like where you're positioned every single time you attack. So really important. It's gonna be part of our charm combo. So we go back here, we sit on the bench. I do not know where the hell I'm going. Okay, now I know where I'm going. I almost forgot. So we're gonna sit on the bench because we're gonna need to come back on the bench for Shade Soul. But before we go to Shade Soul, we're gonna go back down and sell items. So here, double dash here, 3 platforms, double dash, and then you know, the works. I suggest that you dash into the platform on the third platform. That way, you don't have to worry about not getting not being able to touch the wall. Because what I'm doing is I am touching the sort of like the wall of that platform on the left side to gain. No, I'm sorry, on the right side to gain my dash again. But it's kind of hard to pull off, so you can just land on the third platform and then drop again, and you'll have the dash. I made a mistake here, and I thought I was gonna get hit, so I was like, you know what, screw that, let me just reset everything, try again, because I made a really bad decision there. There you go. So I didn't explain, but this elevator, if you don't let it go, if you don't make it go up, next time you're gonna be waiting for the elevator to go up, and that guy who's in that room, if he catches you, you're gonna have to dodge him. And to prevent that from happening, it's better to just make sure the elevator goes back up. So that way you don't have to deal with those shenanigans, you know? It's way better that way. Plus, it's a bit faster, I think, since your fall speed is faster than the elevator. If he does nothing, he's just gonna resume walking. Just wait for him to just walk past you, and then you dash in. By the way, this is the third time we do this. If you haven't learned this, you should learn it by now. Wait for him to get close to you. Drop. Hit the elevator. When it goes up, it kills him. Dash here. Dash again. And then jump in place. Dash around here to land on the platform. Wait for this guy to go to the right side. Do not. Just wait. He will stop. Just wait. And then go in. Here I had to get a little bit good. I was thinking about my options. If you look, I was looking down to see what I could have done. And I noticed that my lower platform, I could have gone for that lower platform, but the problem is that the other guy was there. And if I landed on that platform, I would have to deal with him and the other flying dude. So what I was going to put myself in a really tough spot. So I said, you know what? Jump in place, see what happens, and try to pogo him. Because the guy can't fight you when you're on top of him or when you're below him. So you can use that to your advantage. Remember that. The only enemies that can deal with you when you're below or on top is the other flying dudes that they have the spears that they can throw you. They can use projectiles to just deal with you. What makes it a little bit annoying. We're gonna face one of them later into the run, and you will see how I deal with them. So now this is important. So you see me having 2196. You want to have minimum 2140 is what you need for the next set of items that we're going to be shopping. Set of charms. We need 2140 because we're going to be buying couple charms, the charm notches, and then we're going to also be buying the key to accessing Shade Soul. And I think I was like, I don't know what I was doing here. I was like, I don't know what to do. Kind of messed up. I was supposed to land on here, and I landed somewhere else. So you're going to notice I do a cut here, and that's because I had to stop the stream to do a quick errand. Holding a run and resuming later is fine as long as you have a way to validate it as a single segment. In my case, it's a stream since it's done live and you can see the dates and time of when it resumed. As soon as I started the stream, I resumed where I left off, and you can see on the previous video, which is the stream version of the run. We're going to buy now the we're going to buy now the elegant key, and then we're going to buy one of the charms that Sly has, which is Sword Shell. Some of the these charms we're not gonna be using them. It's just for like getting 10 charms, and then we're gonna go to one of my favorite NPCs in this game.
Bapanada.
She doesn't have much going on, but I just like when every time she says that. If you ask me, my favorite NPC besides, I mean, there's a quite a lovable amount of like NPCs in this game. There's too many to like love, but the one I love the most is the one you find in City of Tears, like underground. I think maybe she's a singer. I don't know what she is. Love her personality a lot. So the reason I actually sat down here is because it's the closest one to the station. And I already sat down on the other bench. You can super dash here, and then super dash again, and you'll be Gucci. No enemies to encounter. Now we're gonna buy the last few items that we need. Long nail. I think we need also steady body, and then the last 2 charm notches. Actually, no, I already bought the first charm notch. We just needed that one. You only buy the first charm notch and the second one, which is a total of 620 between both of them. But you buy one when you get shaman, and then next time you come back, you buy the second one. So let me explain Shade Soul real quickly. So here's the thing, but this guy has, it's called Soul Warrior if I'm not mistaken. This guy has You have to fight him and the ads. And I would say this, him alone is really easy. It's not hard at all. But the ads, they add a lot. They just make the fight horrible. Because the thing is that they will spawn every like 3.9 to 4 seconds. I don't know the accurate amount, but they will spawn in like 4 seconds, and we're talking about 4 seconds at around a 51 BPM. That's beats per minute. So if you count at like 50 to 51 BPM for 4 seconds, you'll have them spawn. And the thing is that I didn't want to fight them both at the same time. This time I did it right so I can get a dash here. Very important, especially here because I need the super dash, and that gives me, there's downtime there. And so dealing with both of them, it just made the fight super inconsistent. I was having a hard time with this guy. So I developed a strat. And the strat is, we kill the ads first before fighting him. Now you would think like, oh, Blasty, that's impossible. Not quite. In this fight, there's a total of 24 ads that you actually have to fight. After 24, they stop spawning. So what I found out is that this guy right here, he cannot fight you if you're in the top corner of this wall. He'll throw projectiles and try to hit you, but nothing will happen. And so what I do is I use a combination of like super dashing so I can maintain my position in the wall, and then buffering an attack to make sure that the attack comes out when I need it. And so I will, if you see here, I will wall jump until he gets here, and then I'll just start super dashing until I hit him. There's one spawn where they will spawn really close to you. So on that spawn, all you have to do is drop, like slide low and then hit him. Nothing else. Slide low and hit him. So we're gonna be counting 24. I don't know. I actually lost the count right now. I even lost the count when I was fighting this guy. But it's 24 enemies, 24 ads. If they spawn really far away, you're gonna have to deal with him and another spawn right here. So you see that I only slide down and I smacked them. For some reason, Hollow Knight's hitbox is pretty small when you're like in this wall, so it makes up for. It's pretty forgiving if you mess up a little bit. Like they can be really close to you and you will not get hit. And then also the range of your nail can hit below you and above you. Not fully above you or below you. I don't really know for sure, but it hits you. It can hit below you. So it makes sliding down and hitting the enemies who are below you and close to you really easy. You just gotta be quick reacting. Then as long as you maintain yourself up here, even his projectiles won't reach. If he's this far away, it's the only moment that it will get scary because the projectiles could get close to where I'm ending my jump. Anyways, I think we actually got all the ads. I wait for him to go for projectile before dropping, just to make sure, and then I fight him. If he goes for the dash attack, I jump in place and jump back. Or if I'm in a corner, I jump toward towards the other side. If he teleports above me, I will just walk and then go for with walk and dash, basic into a spell. If he goes for a spell, you jump over the spell and then you basic attack him once and just walk back, so the spell will miss coming when he comes back like in a boomerang form. It will try to hit you, so you can jump over the spell, hit him, and then walk back. The spell will miss. If he teleports on top of you, walk either side, commit to any side. Do not hesitate on walking back. Commit to a side, dash if you need to, basic, and then use a spell. Spells are really important for this fight in Hornets because it pushes the enemy back. Not only that, you can potentially go for double hits as well, and that's really good because we're talking about potentially, I think it's like 80 damage extra. 40 extra damage, and that positions them in the corner. And for that guy in particular, when he goes for a dash, it gives you space to just walk back and be safe, right? So So spells are important. Don't prioritize on getting spells every single time, like hitting him with Vengeful Spirit every single time. But whenever you have an opportunity to do so, especially when he teleports from the top, if you punish him quickly, you'll be able to get a spell free. Don't do it when he goes for spells, because it puts you stay in place and it's just bad. And then if he goes for a dash attack, you can sort of do the same, like punish spell, depending on where. If he lands in front of you, then sure, go for it. If you have to dash over him, do not. Just go one attack, because you'll be in place and he might teleport on top of you and you might get screwed. Go through here a second time. Now this is something important. I did this a little bit different from Fireborn. Fireborn actually does Night Watches before going to Umu, if I'm not mistaken, and this makes this part a little bit difficult. And so, not say it's RNG-ish, but you can't see where the enemies are on top of you, and they will be throwing projectiles, and you might not be able to like react on time. So, for the sake of like eliminating all that, I decided to just do Umu first. Now, I can see why Fireborn opted to do White Night Watchers first, and the reason is because Night Watchers are a handful. And at least for me, fighting Watchers really late into the game means that I have to get sort of good. Oh, before we do this is a skip. Boom, and then there you go. That skip is not completely easy, but it's not super hard. You just gotta get good at inputting the super dash on time. I'm actually happy that I've been getting pretty consistent at it. I can see why Fireborn opted that, if that was the case, to get Night Watchers first, is because they are the hardest boss in this game, and if you can get those bosses out of the way, then you'll feel more comfortable going throughout the whole run. At least in my opinion, because when you're this late into the run, you have added pressure. You have pressure on you that is unnecessary to like have a consistent fight, and so you tend to make mistakes that you don't want to. And so fighting them earlier means that you don't have that added pressure. You feel a little bit more relieved, and if you get hit, it doesn't matter because you didn't got that far into the run, where it feels really bad to start all over again. Because I think the hardest thing about runs is that you have to start all over again. If a run was short, you wouldn't mind getting hit because you'd be like, well, I'll just start all over again, and it's not that far off. But when a run is like past an hour already, you gotta, it's kind of hard to like decide to start the run again. And believe me, I was doing really well on this run. This is the first of the day, by the way. I did not want it to do a reset. So Umu, I think I did a fast fight on Umu. Umu, what you want to do is be up here, corners, top corner, direct right corner. If he goes for this, land a little bit low and then use your super dash to maintain your position. Do exactly what I'm doing when he's doing here, and then do that. Honestly, I can explain this a little bit more about Umu if you want to know how to fight Umu. I suggest you come to my stream and I can explain you a little bit. And then yeah, I can help you. So if you didn't notice, I'll explain after this. So what happened here is that I got lucky and I got 6 shots on Umu. So I threw 3 spells and every single spell did double hit. And that was pretty quick. I just didn't expect Umu to die in 2 hits. Thank God that I didn't know he would die in 2 hits, because and then I would have been greedy and I would have gone for the 2 hits just to make it quick. But he basically dies 6 spells and I think it's like 4 hits, 5 hits. The normal method for me is actually to go for 5 double hits into a single hit, which is usually what I get before Umu gets to like one side of the stage, and then I will go for 3 hits into one more spell, and that should end Umu. Now, Like I said, environmental damage is not a hit. You can call this me taking advantage over something like this. But I quit out so I can get full health, so I can come back here just in case I mess up the this part, which is basically another skip because you're not getting. There's something that you need to get before getting here, and you don't have it. I could have opted to go, you know, just go all the way up and just touch the man's and go all the way down. It's not completely hard. We will do it after this. It's not hard at all. It's actually consistent, but I don't want to go. I didn't want to go through the chore of just like getting out the way to the bench, so quit out. But the way I'm gonna do it going up is completely safe. If you do it exactly how I do it, you'll be fine. The only threats is the big boy jellyfish, and I have a way to counter them, or to like get rid of them. And by get rid of them is you just don't have any more threats. I said the little jellyfishes, but I'd say that they're not a threat at all. The threat is actually them with the lightning balls that appear and disappear. Them alone is like separately alone is easy. So here I nailed the super dash to wall jump, which I would say like in the beginning that was pretty hard for me to nail, you know, because you got a super dash and then know exactly when you can wall jump because you can't buffer the input. So here I hit these two guys just in case I need to dash back, and then I jump here, hit this guy when he's on his peak. You want to hit that jellyfish on the right side when he's at his peak, and then dash left, and then we'll hit there. And then when this guy is at his lowest, you hit him, and then you want to stand here and just wait here for a little bit. Because there's a way that if you do it wrong, it will trigger like sort of like a domino effect, and all these jellyfish will start like exploding, and that's pretty scary. And there you go. Honestly, getting out to the bench is not completely difficult. It's relatively easy, but I want to cut time. And like I said, quit outs is not really a problem if I'm not in combat. So it was a no-brainer, to be honest. Next up is going to be Seal 2, so we're going to go for Hera. And yes, Night Watchers are going to be the last boss we're going to fight on like Seal-wise. Thankfully, Hera doesn't have a boss fight, so we don't have to worry about bosses, but the route can be a little bit scary if you don't know how to do it right. Here I take my time to kill all the jellyfishes, because I've gotten hit. I gotten hit like twice already in this route. Not too much, but for me, one hit is enough to like make me reconsider how am I doing things, because I don't want to repeat. I don't want to get hit again. And I knew it was a red flag, but I decided to go through it without, you know, no matter what. Just do what I'm doing, and you should be fine so far. But yeah, when I find something which is a red flags for me, I take them seriously. And red flag is basically a situation where it could potentially lead to a hit, but you haven't gotten hit yet. And so when I see something like that, it's red flag, and I'll just decide to like fix it really quickly because I can foresee myself getting hit. Here, the consistent way I found it was just to bounce there and then dash. You can super dash here, no problemo. 4 hits in this that will break. Super dash again, and then this little part here. There's a platform that breaks, or not platform. This part breaks if you get past it, all the way past the edge. So this part is a scary one. Next room here. You're gonna dash right as fast as you can, and then drop as fast as you can and dash left. Wait here, and then drop again and just resume this whole path here. If you don't do it fast enough, there'll be enemies that will come out of the ground and they will hit you, and that's annoying. And then this part, you don't have to worry. There's no enemies that come out. At least in my experience, I haven't seen any enemies come out. So no worries here. Just be patient. Wait when you need to wait. and then proceed. There might be one that pops out. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. I don't know this game fully. I only know what I know based on my experience, and I wouldn't say it's fully enough. I think I got this run in like 2 months, or like 1 month and a half, something like that. Okay, this part's important. So I use spells are used here strategically. I wait for this guy to get close to me, and then I want to kill him as close to the left side as possible. Trigger this guy to go for a projectile, and then we wall jump here, so we don't have to deal with the projectiles. And then last spell here, so we don't have to deal with these guys. Now don't worry, we will refill our spells back, because we're gonna need to use 3 more spells for the next 3 enemies coming up. And thankfully, there's this part here where I get to smack some enemies for free, and so we get all our soul regen back. So it's gonna be here, and we still need to clear them no matter what. So jump here and then fall down to trigger one of the big enemies. 4 times will kill him, as long as you have fragile strength. And then these 2 guys die in 2 hits. And then we're gonna trigger one more of the big guys by touching that top there and then dropping here. Now we have full soul, so we can use 3 spells. First spell is gonna be here, and then second spell is gonna be after these platforms. And then the third spell is gonna be after this, going up here. You're gonna want to use this spell here, and then wait here for another spawn of these enemies. 4 hits, wait for the enemy that comes on the left side. You can use a spell there, and then you go all the way to the end. This part, if you don't rush it, an enemy will spawn, so wall jump as quickly as possible, go all the way to the top and then to the bottom. Now here, I don't like challenging this guy at all, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to go for a up air that goes through this object here, through this wall, and it manages to hit him, which is nice. We super dash here, so we don't have to deal with some of the floor here that actually breaks, and we stop the super dash before transitioning into the next room. A little bit of platforming here, and then we're gonna enter the beast's den, Hera's den. I only move once. After you move once, they will start, moving towards you. So these enemies here, you're gonna have to be good at reacting. You have a little bit of room to react. They don't attack you quickly. Do not attack them, because the problem is that if you attack them, their animation will be faster, and that is meant to punish you for going for an attack first instead of waiting. The game kind of wants you to wait, right? So I go for a spell, and then the rest is hits. And the reason I go for hits is because I want to get my soul full, so I can use it later for 2 more of these guys. Here I look down and I wait for one enemy to appear and disappear and just go away, because these guys are that tells me that I'm free to drop. If you drop all willy-nilly, you'll get hit. We're gonna use one spell here on this guy. I do not want to challenge that guy at all. And then we're gonna do the same thing we did with the first enemy that we had to deal with regarding this enemy. And that is this. You're gonna use this for probably a couple more times. I don't know. Maybe 1 more time. Or 2 more times. There's traps everywhere, dude. It's crazy. Now that I think about it, I could have actually set up Fury of the Fallen there. I wouldn't have been a bad idea now that I think about it. Honestly. This guy, I give respect to this guy. I've never gotten hit, but I see a red flag when he's that close to you on the right side. To me, it's a red flag because if I don't react fast enough and jump, he can still hit me. Right, so like here. So if you're not fast enough, you know. So yes, it's skill dependent. But where yours is far in, it's better to make wise decisions and not fully get cocky. I don't consider my skill being the best of the best. So I didn't want to bank on that. Of the fact that I've been doing so well till now. So I completely forget about punishing him if I feel uncomfortable. And here I'm just being conscious about the fact that I should not challenge him if he's not in the right spot. And then this guy, he dies in 2 spells. But that's because you can kind of like, I don't know how it fully works well, if it's distance related or it's like his movement per se. But sometimes you double hit him on the first spell or the second. And by sometimes I say like 80% of the time. Or 90. So we're done with seal 2. Now we're gonna go for seal 3. I think I forget to update the seals. So the last 2 bosses, I can go a little bit more in depth on how I fight them. I can speak very less of the next boss coming up. I can go a little bit in depth, but not too much. Because there's so many variations. Night Watchers is the kind of boss that gives you so many variations, and you gotta be really good at making decisions, like split decisions. And you are always fighting 2 at a time. There is a strat that I've been trying to like do, but it relies on me being really quick, and that is like with the charm combination that I'm gonna be using, which is Shaman, Fury of the Fallen, and Fragile Strength will give me insane amount of damage to just kill them quickly. And if I do it fast enough, I can single them out, and I only have to deal with 1 at a time. Which is not always the case, but at least the fights go a lot faster than it should be at this stage. Night Watchers is one of the hardest bosses. It's very notorious for making your life miserable, especially in the speedrunning community. They're probably the most hated in the any percent category, and I definitely have a lot of respect for them in the hit runs. To be honest, here I'm taking damage, so I can lower my hit to 1, so I can use Fury of the Fallen. And we're gonna be on our way to Night Watchers. Now, to be honest, there's a lot of stuff I could say about Night Watchers, but to be honest, but I don't think I'll be able to fit it all in this video. Like I said, they have so many scenarios. A few tips that I can give you is stay in the middle, prioritize positioning, and positioning will be in the middle. If you happen to have them on one side, right? If you're fighting them both, and then both of them are on one side, you might want to run towards the wall, and then try to wall jump as far as up as you can. So when they do either a bounce or a roll, you'll be able to get over them, and then get positioning. Try to stay in the middle. What I try to do is bait one to go for a melee attack, and the other one go for a roll or a bounce, and that makes them put them in a spot where one is in my left and one is in my right, and it makes it easier for me to like manage them and prioritize them. If you have them both on one side, then the decision making gets a little bit harder. Now these guys, I single them out. This guy's easy, just hit him from below, and then I trigger this guy by jumping here, and then I wait for him. He's gonna probably throw me some projectiles, but if he goes for the dash, I use a spell. Watch. Forget about those, and then spell. That's the best way I found to deal with him. Make sure he's up there and not following you, which is why I singled him out. Then your nail's capable enough to face through the floor and kill that guy conveniently enough. This guy's on 1 hit. She dies in 2. And so here I wait for the big guy to go to the right side, and then I make a drop and I use a spell. Right around here. I jump, spell, and then spell on him, and then I wait 3 pogos. What you want to do is you want to stand in front of him and wait. Have an idea of when he's going to go for a strike, and preemptively jump knowing that he's going to go for the strike, and then you can pogo him 3 times. Since we don't know where the enemy is in here, we use a spell to locate and kill. We killed these guys from below. 2 hits will be enough. And this is important because we get to fill up our soul all the way back. So that's good. The next enemy that's gonna come up, if he aggro's at you, just wall jump all the way up and just go. You can hear him before the transition completes. So if you hear him do that, just double wall jump to the right and then just go up. If he doesn't, then wall jump and hit him again, and you should be able to kill him before he drops. Night Watchers. A little thing here is that there's a breakable ceiling here that helps, makes you drop a chandelier, killing 1 of the Night Watchers, and then instead of dealing with 6, you deal with 5. Now here's important. Since I want to single them out and fight them 1 by 1, this first guy, which only appears alone for a little bit, with my charm setup, you're gonna want to do 8 hits and 7 hits and 1 spell. 6. I think I did 7 here, or 6. I don't know. I think I did 7. So now the 8th hit will kill him, and then I go for this. And I single him out, and then this guy. And you single him out. You single him out. And that's basically how you deal with them. Actually, I ended up doing it really well. But the strat is basically that. Do enough damage before the other one spawns, and then spell should be enough to eliminate them, and you single them out. And then while the other one is spawning, you'll have free time to kill them. Now, you're not going to be always this lucky and be able to like fight them 1v1. Because sometimes they will give you like really weird, they'll just give you bad attacks, and it will just be bad, to be honest. The worst thing you can get is actually a roll, I think, because you gotta chase him really far, and then punishing him is gonna be harder because he'll be able to act after the rollout relatively quickly. Probably the same as the bounce, but the thing about the bounce is that you can hit the enemy as soon as he's landing, so you get an extra hit on him. So it makes it really good. If for some reason you manage to get quick slash, I think it might be a good idea to have quick slash. The problem is that which slot you're gonna change it for. And honestly, I don't know if it's a good idea. It might be a good idea to change it for fragile strength, and maybe like faster hits will compensate for the lack of 50% extra damage, resulting in a faster fight potentially. I'm not completely sure, maybe, but I opted to go for this charm setup, and we only do this charm setup for this boss fight only, because Hollow Knight we do the charm setup we did for Umu. And you'll think like, oh, less damage, and yes, it's less damage, but it helps me get safer pokes, or at least my pokes are safer. Whereas with this charm setup, I will do more damage, which will result in getting ending the fight sooner. But the difference in how fast you end it is not as much to warrant not opt to have safety. A little bit more of space between you and the enemy, or between me and Hollow Knight. This is a strat that I found from the world's second player to no hit this game. I'm the world's third, by the way. So far, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the world's third player to no hit this game. I found out doing this run that there was somebody who was world's second. It's just that it's not on YouTube. It's actually on the Twitch stream. And then world's first being Fireborn. But yeah, this strat I was talking about that I discovered from the world's second is just waiting for that enemy to just come past to the right, and then you use super dash to get to one side and then super dash to the other one. Actually, no, wait, the super dash idea I think was mine, but that route was his. I opted to go for a more risky route, which thank God I saw his route, because the risky route was, I don't know, I didn't like it a lot. Because the enemy positioning is so always different, and so you can't tell if you're gonna land safely or not, and it's just RNG, and I dislike RNG, so I try to like eliminate as much as RNG as I can. So now Steward into Longnail into Fury into Shaman in this order, so you can get all four. We're gonna lower our health again, so we can trigger Fury of the Fallen, giving us 75% more damage. And so, okay, so Hollow Knight is not a fully hard boss if you fight him after you've gotten a lot of the tools that the game offers you before getting to fight this dude. But for me, I didn't have double jump, I didn't have the iframes from the dash, and I didn't have pure nail. So the fight lasted longer than it should be, and I didn't have tools to play safe, or to go aggressive and come out safe. And so phase one, he's gonna have the dash and then the 3 chain hit, and then he's gonna have the random jump, which is the one thing that could have ended this run because I still couldn't do it well. If he goes for the dash, you want to jump over him, pogo, and then hit him again when you're landing. If he goes for the triple dash, for the triple chain, you're gonna want to full jump and then dash and look back, spell, and land if you have spell. If not, then go for one hit. And that's pretty much the first phase. Second phase, he's gonna have projectiles, and you're gonna deal with projectiles the same way you deal with the 3-hit chain. Jump, full jump, dash towards the other side, and then hit him. You can do hit, spell, hit, or you can do hit, spell, and play safe. And then third phase is the same thing. We just added more projectiles. You're just gonna have to learn how to dodge them. But you're gonna see it here. Dash. The answer for dash is pogo, and then hit him, and then 3 chain is dash, and I hit him. So you see, I'm actually pogoing him. This is the random jump. I hate it. Right, took some space from him. Second phase. Now in second phase you want to be close to him because he does that, and you don't want to have to be far away from him, or else you're gonna have to like learn how to dodge it. Like I said, do that. Here I use 2 spells and I refill my soul. And then I space him out a little bit. Now here's important. You want to be on the position I am at all times. Not prioritize it, but be here as much as you can. Left side. Not fully on the corner. Just exactly where he's at right now. You want to be. Or where I'm at right now. And the reason is because if he teleports, he won't hit you. But if you're in the middle, he will hit you, because he teleports straightly into the middle. And the only reasons he will teleport to the middle is when he is in that spot, which is corner left or corner right. But more importantly, corner left, at least in my experience. This is the fourth phase. He's weak, and a couple hits and spells will kill him. But yeah, I've died so many times to him by being in the center. Do not be in the center, because if he ends up in one of the corners, he will teleport to middle. The one attack, he will teleport to middle if he does two things, which is the barrage of projectiles, and when he is he's about to go to the fourth phase, and it's not funny. Okay, maybe it's a little bit funny when he does that, but still, stay like 75% on left or 75% on right, and not fully on the corner, unless he forces you to. At least for me, I am not fully afraid of being in the corner, because all the attacks that I might be afraid of dealing with, I can just, you know, either I mean full jump and then dash to the other side, or I could just wait for him to teleport out, which he will do, and before he does the barrage of projectiles. If he is a little bit, like for example left or right side, a little bit close to the center, like I would say 60% in to left or 60% in towards the right, and by 60% in towards left or right, I mean like if you stand on a corner and you walk 60% towards the other side, then that's what I mean, right? That's what I mean, 60% in left or right. If he's around that side, that spot, he probably won't teleport. But if he's like where I need you to be, which is like 75% in left or right, not fully in the corner, from there he can actually teleport into the center. So we by being positioned in that area, we eliminate the whole thing of him teleporting in the center and we getting hit. I thought it was completely random that he will just teleport out of nowhere to any spot and you will just get smacked. But after a few tries and like testing and like hours and upon hours of just fighting this guy, I can guarantee you that those are the requirements for him to teleport in center. And then, like I said, if he's not 75% in towards either of the corners, he will not teleport out. He will do whatever he wants in that spot. My suggestion is try to playing out in that spot so he's forced to teleport out. Him teleporting out means that you'll have a lot more room to work with if you play it right. And then if you're in the corner, don't be too afraid to play in the corner. If he does a random jump, he cannot land on you. At least he hasn't landed on me like doing a random jump, because the height he gains, he does, like even the minimum height, he still smacks himself on the wall, so he can't really land where you are. He'll just bounce back. If he teleports to go for the pillars, which is like teleport on the top and then land and the pillars come out, nothing would happen. Like he will not land on you. You can actually just stay really close to him, so you have a higher chance of not getting hit by the pillars. And then the whole barrage of projectiles, he will teleport out. When he goes for, like, he opens his chest and throws the projectiles things, that he won't teleport out. I think he doesn't teleport out like on those conditions. He might teleport out, but not on those conditions, if I'm not mistaken. I guess that's about it. If he actually teleports out and you have to deal with those projectiles that comes out of his chest from far, my suggestion is walk into the direction in which the projectiles are actually going towards, which is like if he's shooting you towards the left side, then you just keep walking left as long as you're not in the corner. And then what you're going to want to do is that if the projectile lands really close behind you, dash towards him, and that way the next projectile that is supposed to hit you will miss. If it lands far away from you, then you can jump the projectile. You can, like, if it lands far away from you, you jump, and then the next projectile will land under you. And what I suggest you do, so you don't stay in place, is jump and then dash in, and that will counter the next projectile. So those are the two situations you may have. The other situation is that as the projectile is going to land, you don't know whether to go left or right, so you can just dash out and then jump and then dash in. But be wary of that, because that situation can lead you of getting hit on the next projectile that will land. And none of the situations you saw here, because I was actually, out of all the fights that I did, I fought this guy so many times that I was pretty used to fighting him quickly. So I took advantage of that comfortableness that I had. And instead of playing it relatively safe, which I opt to do, I decided to just fight him a little bit more aggressively just to end things sooner. Because the issue with him is that my reaction time is not good enough yet to deal with his random jumps. But yeah, that's one thing I can talk to you about. Those random jumps, he will land either in front of you, and behind you, away from you, or on top of you. What I like to do is when he jumps, when you see the animation of like him bending the knees, you're gonna want to run towards him. Don't dash, run towards him. And if the jump lands in front of you, just walk back. If it jumps on top of you, dash. If it lands way up, like if he overshoots, then just keep walking. If he jumps back, then just keep walking towards him just to maintain close range to him. But that's if you have really good reaction time. I would say if he lands like really close to you, like in front of you, while you're walking towards him, or if he lands on top of you, dash towards him, so you land behind him, and then, dash away. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been my Hollow Knight no-hit run in a single segment. Shoutouts to Fireborn again. Follow me on Twitch, Hey Blasty, if you want to. Like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of this. And that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.